Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Spotlight. Today, we're doing season 2, episode 2, COVID from Despair to Repair. So we are live on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We're live everywhere. It's a recorded session, of course. I am pleased to let you know we've got the pleasure of being joined by Eny Osung, the CEO of Global.media, Zion Enogieru, our guest speaker today, who's been involved in writing the book we can see in the background, lessons we learned from COVID-19. And we are also joined by Jasmine Ofori, our social media specialist. It's always a pleasure to have Jasmine on the show as well. So, without any further ado, we're going to go to the godfather of LinkedIn, Mr. Eny Osung. How are you doing today, mate? Are you all right?
I'm doing great. A few challenges, but nothing I can't get over. My keyboard lost a few of its keys, so I had to go and buy another keyboard. Yeah, I'm good. I'm here with you. It's for Saturday night. Why not?
Awesome. Eny, you have one of your co-authors on the screen. How long have you known Zion for?
Oh, maybe 3-4 years now.
4 years.
We met on LinkedIn, had a chat. I discovered Zion's mission to spread positivity around the world. And I said, all right, when you get serious, call me. It was running a photography shop at the time.
Yeah.
I said, right, when you get serious, then let's get you on LinkedIn. Let's see what we can do. How we make you really famous. So right. Next time I saw Zion, he was already famous. 6 months later, the world knew us for positivity, and Zion was everywhere. So
yeah, what's really special about Zion is the fact that you see what you get, and you get what you see, and he means what he says, and he says what he means. And this day and age, authenticity is one of the unique selling points in every service or product, right? Authenticity, and Zion is the whole package when it comes to that aspect of business or personal life. Zion, we love you because of the fact that you are who you are, and you say what you mean, and you mean what you say. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome to Spotlight. How are you today, Zion?
Yes, Mr. Cyrus, thank you so much. I'm good. Mr. Eny, it's always a privilege to be on the same stage with you. Thank you so much. And Jasmine, it's so good to be here with everyone. And so everybody who's listening to us this evening, I want to say a very big thank you for joining us. And I cannot wait to share more on our book, Lessons Learned from COVID, and how we move from despair to repair. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zion. Jasmine, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Yes, it's been a busy day, but I'm just going through the challenges and staying positive.
Awesome. Jasmine, if I asked you to give me one word to describe how you felt when the lockdown was announced, when you found out, oh no, I can't see my friends or family, I can't do anything really. What is that one word that you would give us?
That one word would be shock. Obviously, with everything happening, things had to slow down, and that shock was mainly to see the ripple effect that COVID was having, in the entire atmosphere, shall I say, how people were fearful and everything else. It was shocking to me, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Zion, you just got one word from Jasmine, the way she described how she felt when the lockdown was announced. The word I would describe my feeling as would be despair. And Jasmine mentioned shock. So you have 2 words now. Would you use the same 2 words to start your talk today, or would you add any other words to describe the way you felt at the time?
Well, I felt I never believed it. I would say unbelievable. That would be the word I would use to describe my experience. Unbelievable.
So you had a hard time dealing with it.
Yes, because we couldn't believe it. We're like, no, it's not real. It's fake. It's not happening. It's another way the government want to use to extort us and because put us in the place of fear. So for us, we didn't believe it, and one word for it, it's unbelievable.
Did it affect your business?
It affected everything we couldn't ever think of.
How were you affected by it, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes. Now, when we talk about COVID, for us, it was like a mystery that we came to embrace. And I'm like, wow, everything was at a standstill, family, business, everything we think we've known, status quo, ideology, principles, they were all altered just for us to hear about COVID and especially the restriction of movement. We couldn't move, we couldn't go anywhere, we couldn't go to your user places of visit, your business, see friends and all that. And as at then, my business was about, like Mr. Eny said earlier, making graphics, Photoshop, and all these things. It takes me to move from where I was to the place I make them, and all these things were being altered, were being affected. And I tell you, it was a mystery that we had to embrace to unlock the possibilities that it brought to us.
Oh, thank you so much, Zion. If COVID-19 affected Mr. Positivity in that way, imagine what it did to other people. You're famous as Mr. Positivity. How did that come about? How did that happen? And what does it mean? Why do people call you that?
All right, that's a great question. For me, when we talk about Mr. Positive Energy, many persons feel, oh, he was born that way, or things are all right with him. That's the reason why he's being positive. You can never appreciate positivity if you have never been in a place of negativity. And I must tell you, I come from a place of so much negativity, a place where there's so much self-doubt, so much unbelief, and thinking for the fact that nothing good can come out of me. And as at that period, I was struggling with my life. I was at a point of committing suicide, taking my life because I was in a chronic place of depression, thinking that my life could not move on. And having COVID come,
wow.
and it was unbelievable. Now, just a quick story. As at that period, I lost my friend to suicide. He died, and it was so heartbreaking because I felt I could have done something for him to make him still being alive. And that experience really changed my life, to be able to bring this positivity to every corners of the earth, inspiring people, motivating people, and encouraging people that cross my path. Because I know what it means to be in so much negativity. I know what it means to be in that place where you think, oh, nothing good can come out of life. Because right now, as we are talking, even with the post-COVID, many persons in the world are going through so much. They're going through a lot. And they might not be able to tell you, they might not be able to express it because why they feel, or people might judge them, people might look down on them because they're expressing how they feel. So that's the reason why the Positive Energy brand was being vetted to be a source of hope, a source of inspiration, a source of faith for persons who have stopped believing in their life. And that's how it came about. And boom, positivity has a ripple effect. If one person is being affected, it's like a fire in the Harmattan season that spreads wide. It has a ripple effect. If one person can catch the fire, I tell you, more persons can be able to catch the fire. And that's what happened, that the fame just spread abroad because it centered about humanity. It centered about making a positive difference in the life of everybody I come in contact with. And when whatever you do is people-centered, definitely the impact will be felt, the value will be seen, and many persons will begin to appreciate it. So what you call popularity or what you call fame, for me, it's called people appreciating the value I bring to them.
phenomenal. I really like your work, Zion. When I come to your morning shows, actually, let me describe it this way. When I was halfway through one of my books, which I haven't published yet, at the time I had written the general structure of the book, and for months on end, I wouldn't go back to the book because I had lost my mojo, and I wasn't. I don't know. For some reason, it's like I had forgotten why I had started the book, I think. And then I came to a show one morning. I think it was around 7 something in the morning, and it's like I was hit by lightning. I was struck by lightning, and it just that room woke me up, and I continued the book, and guess what? I finished it. So thank you. Now, Eny, you heard what Jasmine said. So Jasmine was shocked, and I felt despair, and Zion was affected unbelievably. So how did you feel, Eny, when the lockdown rules was announced, when you found out you can't even see your family members anymore, you can't see your friends anymore? How did you feel?
Again, of course, it was a shock, big shock to the system, and it was more the potential symptoms, the potential illness that we could get from COVID. Knowing that it could literally, a case of here today, gone tomorrow. That's the way it was kind of reported here in the UK. I think when I heard about it, the first thing I thought, okay, who's at risk? Oh, black people of color. Oh, okay, great. I'm one of those. Who's at risk? What else do I do when I put them at risk? Oh, well, and if you're 50 plus, if you're old. I'm like, okay, I'm 49. Excellent, I'm 48, and thereabouts, right? I'm getting there. So I could just die tomorrow is what I thought. So literally anything that could be done to avoid the danger to all of us was worth doing in my eyes. Yeah, that's why I kind of looked at it.
So if you want to welcome the people you can see on LinkedIn, because I can't see anybody other than on StreamYard right now.
I'm trying to stream to LinkedIn, but I'm not getting there. And my YouTube is not streaming either. It's saying notify me go live. I don't know what's going on there.
I'm having the same issue.
Same issue. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with the stream today.
So if you guys they're not working.
Mm-hmm. If you guys are experiencing that, I am sorry to hear that. So we're gonna continue. So there's nothing that can express my feelings for those days better than this song that I've written about COVID-19, the lessons we learned from COVID-19. I wrote that song specifically for this book. So I'm gonna play that. Let's give it a go and find out. Please let me know if you can hear it.
Of course.
Can you hear it? Can you hear the song, guys?
We can.
Linda and Victoria, thank you so much for joining us. Lessons we learned from COVID-19.
Our hopes married our fears, and our minds divorced our sanity. Later on, we found out the dodgy vaccine was just another thing of vanity. Lost our faith in humanity. We struggled to get used to our tragic and new reality. The vaccine made some richer, made some sicker, but it didn't save humanity. Isolation and frustration felt by every nation. No one seemed to enjoy the circus of inoculation. Made in a lab in the 60s, but they called it a Chinese innovation. Winter of frustration felt by every sick nation. No chance of survival for some, no hope for salvation. The lessons we learned from COVID-19. Promises were broken, the virus was mean. We kept our masks on, we kept our hands clean. These are the lessons we learned from COVID-19. Locked in our homes, we saw the world change fast. What we thought would save us, it didn't last. Masks and distance, fear in every glance. We were dancing blindfolded, we never stood a chance to win with elegance. Fear spread like wildfire across every station. Hope felt like a distant, fading sensation. No answers were clear, just more complication. Winter dragged on and on, testing every generation. We found out in the end it's not about the cure, but how we rise again and what we can endure. In the loss we found each other, a truth so divine. These are the lessons of our time. We put our faith in our governments, put our faith in the big pharma. We lost our parents, our kids, our jobs, and called it fate and karma. The lessons we learned from COVID-19. Promises were broken, the virus was mean. We kept our masks on, we kept our hands clean. These are the lessons we learned from COVID-19. Lessons we learned from COVID-19. Promises were broken, the virus was mean. We kept our...
Okay, this was lessons we learned from COVID-19. That's the song. What do you think, Jasmine, of the song? It's the first time we're playing it.
It's interesting, Cyrus. Yeah, it's quite good, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'll
It
give you
takes a bit of
feedback,
getting
more
used to.
feedback forward. Sorry,
It
what did
takes
you
a bit
say?
of getting used to.
It does actually, because the first time, it has to sit in and I have to take it in first, and then I can give you feedback. But so far, I like the voice.
I remember the feedback you shared with us in one of the shows, one of the previous episodes, when you said you were stood in your kitchen singing along with your. I think what song was it? Well, it was Jew Digital, JOO Digital, Jew
It was
Digital.
Jew Digital and Leslie Flowers. Leslie Flowers.
Yeah.
That one.
That
It was stuck in
yeah.
my head.
Everyone loved that song. Everyone loved that song, and
Yeah,
your song
yeah.
turned out beautifully as well. We
Yeah.
can't see Eny on the screen, but we're gonna go back to we're gonna circle back to Zion again. Oh yeah, Eny's back. Eny, thank you so much for coming back to the screen. Now, Eny, did you hear the song? Eny, I think you are on
Muted.
mute.
Yeah, I heard the beginning of most of it. So, when it comes to
Did you hear the song?
yes,
Okay, all right. So, did you like it? Did you not like it?
yeah, of course. I always like your songs. I love how you create them.
Oh, nice one.
I love how you choose the words as well. So the word again, of course, the words reflect the time.
Yeah, of course. It's written retrospectively. So we wrote that song to describe the way we felt at the time. So now, Eny, when you look back on your career so far, obviously some of it went through COVID-19 as well, of course. When you felt like, four-letter word, four-letter word, four-letter word. Things are really bad. So how did you reconnect with your strengths, and how did you find the power within you? Because normally you have a strong personality, and people gravitate towards you because of it, because of that trait that you have in you. It's easy when things are okay. It's easy to be of a positive mind, but when things are really difficult, when COVID hit, how did you reconnect with your positive mind? How did you do it?
I suppose it's like COVID brought a reality that was lingering in the background. I mentioned it last week, where most small businesses go through this phase where you start off and everything is hard. Then you find your place. And you find some customers. You're like, yeah, brilliant. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm winning. And then the wife moves us to Cornwall. You think, damn, I got to start all over again. That's the truth, right? And so you go, and then COVID comes. So there I am trying to build a business, trying to make friends, trying to get more customers, and then this pandemic hits, which on the surface stopped everything stone dead, but we can't stop. We can never stop, right? I think it's always a case of what can we do differently. My luck was that I found that the online world was changing at the same time. So suddenly Zoom was a thing. Before COVID, Zoom was not a thing.
Yeah.
If I said to my networking friends, let's meet on Zoom, they're like, what? Some might have said yes, but most of them are going, what? Let's meet for a coffee chat. I don't know why. I want to smoke the same air, look in your eyes, I don't know, shake your hand. I don't know, whatever it was, the in-person thing suddenly became yesterday. So for that, I thank COVID, really. Because I'm sociable, but I'm best left alone. I'm best left in peace. I'm best left, working in my office quietly. So COVID brought this sudden, as much as it brought pain and the potential of death, instant death. Well, maybe it's a slow death, right?
That's not grim after all.
I suddenly felt liberated by the reality that suddenly I could do things differently. That rather than tackling my local people as my customers, suddenly I had to look beyond my local people. I had to look beyond Cornwall. And if anyone knows Cornwall, it's a small place. It's an odd place, but it's fine. That's where I live. What can I say, right? So suddenly I was making friends on LinkedIn properly. Of course, the platform itself was evolving as well, which is
I suppose your business grew during COVID, right?
Yeah, not for the first year and a bit. It changed. We had to pivot. That's the word I'm looking for, right? So my old business, Cyrus, was essentially what I call search and connect on LinkedIn. Customers came to me; they want to connect with these people who do, and LinkedIn is the greatest database there ever has been. So you can find people by industry, location, job title, how many years in the job. I could carry on, what high school they went to. So if my customers knew their target audience, they come to me and I find them on LinkedIn for them, connect them. But I knew in the back of my mind, LinkedIn hates you doing that. LinkedIn only wants you to talk to people that in real life, IRL, right? But you're like, why you got this billion people? I can't connect with any of them because I don't know them. That's why I'm here, right? So COVID sort of hastened the reality that LinkedIn suddenly clocked one day and said, stop doing that. I'm like, what do you mean? I woke up one morning, Cyrus, in 2022, I think. May the 1st. May Day, literally. All my 35 accounts from my clients were blocked by LinkedIn. This was COVID time, proper COVID time, right? So you're sitting there thinking, So everything's going wrong. LinkedIn suddenly got a bee's bonnet. So what do I do now? So I had to find a way forward. So the whole COVID LinkedIn getting ticked off by what I was doing, what you lot might call pitch and connect, or pitch slapping, call it that, right? Suddenly LinkedIn decided stop doing that. So my business was sinking. By Christmas 2022, I was nearly broke. Earning less than ever. Just sinking, going downwards.
Talk about despair there.
Despair. That's business, right? I guess something suddenly clicked to me that it's not my willingness to work. It's not my goal. It's not the passion I have for my work, right? And it's not the lack of customers, and that's a problem. It's the way I was looking at the world that was a problem. I knew that. I think they say if you tried everything and there's still something wrong, then the only place to go is in your mind. But I didn't know what that meant. Like many people, I know the theory, but I didn't know what that really meant. So, my COVID adventure really began when I found a mindset coach. It suddenly was like, Eny, you can do it. You can make money. You can be successful. And that's how my journey out of COVID started, really. Understanding that there's ways to live, there's ways not to live. Understand that there's ways to find joy and ways to live in misery. So, just in my luck, everything changed once I started learning about mindset and how I could literally direct my life rather than let life direct me. We've lost Cyrus. Cyrus become Google. He's still there.
Yeah, and
He's still there, and he's
once-
just switching between apps.
Yes.
Yes. So once you're talking about your experience, I'm just loading one of your podcasts. Yeah, please continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, please, no. I would say by all means. And look, so they said, I found that there's a different way to live. That's the beauty of COVID and my existence, I guess you want to call it that. And that's what I found. That I've built on that ever since. Just kept building, and here we are, right? Here we are. I found joy. I found a meaning, point to life, point to business, and some of the formula to business. But it has taken me 10 years to get this far. And would I thank COVID for half the experience? Yes, of course I would.
Hmm.
Half the story for many of us is, why are we here? Why are we doing what we're doing? So in COVID, I found a reason to be doing what I'm doing. Literally, I found that I could be. I found a purpose. Really, I found my purpose in life. So that's why I've been aiming for ever since, and thank goodness it's working. My podcast, Cyrus, the Learning with Eny Osung, that's a great experience. I did 46 episodes, recording every other week. I had a podcast production company. That's why I liked Cyrus so much. I record my stuff about LinkedIn, how LinkedIn works, business growth, send it to my producers, and they'll edit it and then put it out there to the world. I'm like, this is amazing. So one time when I asked, what is the numbers? How many people actually listen to my podcast? I think it was something like 250,000. I'm like, 250,000, really? So I've been hooked on podcasting ever since. There was a podcast before that, by the way, in case anyone cares to know, right? Eny's Happy Hour. You haven't found that one, Cyrus, have you? Eny's Happy Hour.
What is it about? It sounds like a particular time in a pub.
It was an irony of me. I'm never cheerfully happy, right? Even I'm happy, I'm never cheerfully that person. I don't crack jokes in public unless I really have to. I'm saying, but tonight I'm a quiet soul, really. So it was a show where basically you could come and spend an hour with me if you're a local business owner in London. I was here in Croydon, around Croydon. So I should find business owners from around the world, really. Interview them, find out who they are, what their mission is, what their passion is, and what we can learn from them. I did that for a good couple of years. I had over 120 episodes of that. Yeah, but it was never an hour. There you go, he's found it. It's on SoundCloud. It was never an hour. Some shows were 4 hours. Like,
this is from 8 years ago, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying to you. Yeah. So
Eny, honestly, you look 20 in this one.
I was young once, Cyrus. I was young. Yeah.
let's play a little bit of that. Let's see what it's about. Just let's. Jasmine, should we play a little bit of that? Zion, should we play a little bit?
I have no idea what you're going to find out.
Go for it.
Let's go for it.
Go for it.
Business with Business Radio.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to Eny's Happy
That's
Hour.
me.
That was happy for me anyway. I'm even happier to have my special guest here today, Ashton Paul.
Morning, how you doing?
Excellent. Welcome, Ashton, to businessradio.co.uk, where you can listen to this show first when it goes out live on a Thursday, I think, and then as a podcast on my page on businessradio.co.uk, interviews, I think. Right, so I'm Eny, and my mission is to interview guests, business owners, so you can learn more about their business and find out more about how to do what they do. Right, so Ashton, I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So your business card says Ashton Paul Limited. So tell us, what do you do?
I'm a residential property expert, so an architect that deals with residential property. I have two types of clients, homeowners that want to extend their properties and property developers that want to extend residential properties and make money out of it.
So that was Eny 8 years ago. So this guy's been doing this business for years, guys.
Seriously. 10 years we're getting to, Cyrus. 10 years, right?
Beautiful.
And the business takes you at many places. And so COVID was just one of another turn in the road, so to speak. But it was the right turn, thank goodness. Ashton Paul, Ashton Paul Smythe, he's a brilliant man. I go every day for him. He got me into networking properly. So he invited me off Twitter, I think. X, you call it now. So I went along to BNI, and that's why I'm like, the whole BNI is the word. Anyone who's been to BNI, I think you have, Jasmine, right? You know of them. I'm saying, anyone who's been to BNI, you suddenly find that you are important. It's an amazing place. So I thank him for many things. That he has showed me, and I learned from him.
Oh, Eny, by the way, this is Victoria Victor on the screen. It says, "Wow, it's amazing listening to you guys." Victoria is the brand, the Whisper Boy brand ambassador for Nigeria, and
Okay.
we're going to develop her into a regional leader. So yeah, of course. So Jasmine is the one for England. Now the Nigerian one is on the screen now, guys. So we're developing, and in 10 years when we look back on these videos, we're gonna be thinking, oh, that's Jasmine. That's Victoria from 10 years ago. So guys,
I met Victoria yesterday.
Oh yeah,
I met her in one of our I think it was in Jay's audio room. I don't know what one of our audio rooms yesterday.
Yeah.
A great speaker, a powerful speaker.
Yeah, of course. She's fantastic.
Great thinker as well. So I got all day for that.
Yeah, she's an educator. So pleased to meet you guys. If you've joined us and I haven't mentioned your name, please forgive me, guys. We are at the same time on LinkedIn. At the same time, we are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and soon we're going to expand to TikTok as well. as soon as my tiny brain allows me to integrate TikTok into this show as well, I will do that. So, so now we're gonna listen to a quick ad, which is about one of our sponsors, and immediately after that, we're gonna go to Zion to talk to us about his experience with regards to how he reconnects with his strengths in the times he needs it. So let's go.
Power greater than love. Imagine what there is no power greater than love. Imagine what if there was a world beyond what we can see? What if our dreams were not just dreams? What if there is a place where we can live and love in peace and harmony? What if a science fiction romance wasn't fiction? Get ready to lose yourself with Lee and Van in a romantic adventure that up to now was just a fantasy. You will discover love has no boundaries. Explore the complexities of connections that span across galaxies and the heartwarming reminder of the power of love. Leslie Flowers has been blazing trails for the business leaders for decades, leveraging the laws of achievement and timeless success. Principles. Already an acclaimed writer, her new book invites you to explore what could be. With a passion for exploring the human condition and the mysteries of the universe, Leslie invites you to come along on this interstellar journey that will stay with you long after you finish the last page.
Thank you so much. So I think Zion is going to reconnect in a few moments. And Victoria has a message for you. Eny, it's a pleasure. Thank you. And Zion just congratulated Victoria as well for the fact that she has achieved the level of being an ambassador for our brand. So she will be a brilliant brand ambassador. We are sure of that, and we'll make sure of that.
Yeah, look, no, the business takes many years, right?
Of course.
You know, everyone, a lot of people think, you start a business tomorrow, you're rich. So I've been at this 10 years, and only now, recently, I've found my place. So like you say, in 10 years' time, they're thinking that no one's going to mention this day when Victoria joined your team. You might. Everyone else will be like, oh well, yeah.
We've got the fantastic Jay Pasqua on the chat as well. He's also watching the show. He's arguably the best storyteller on LinkedIn. I mean, to the best of my knowledge. Until I find somebody better than Jay, I'm gonna refer to him as the best storyteller. I doubt that I'll find anyone better than him in that.
No, he's the best storyteller.
He's brilliant.
The man's got so many different voices. It winds me up. It's when we're not there, Cyrus. It talks the way we do, and it's not funny at all, right?
Honestly, he's brilliant. Jasmine, in terms of reconnecting with your strengths when you need it, in the times of despair and times when you need to go from despair to repair, how would you deal with that?
Reconnecting to my strengths, it takes reflection, sitting down, having a quiet mind to think through, what's happening in your environment. Because, we always are on the, what do you call it? The hustle and bustle, always going quickly. We're not really finding the time or carving out the time to really focus on, our surroundings, taking it in and reflecting, because reflection is key in everything that we do. If you do not reflect, then how can you go back and say, this is what I did wrong, this is where I'm going right, and this is how I plan to move forward, from this point on. So in terms of reconnecting with my strengths, I think reflection was one key thing that I zoned in on during COVID-19. So just like Kenny was thinking, it was just saying, you could be dropped dead and gone in an instant. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, reflecting on how you want to go and the message you'd like to leave to your family members, for example, was one of the key things that was on my mind. So I started a diary, basically, essentially writing out all the lessons I've learned in my life to, help my daughter in terms of being successful in life, how to navigate the challenges of life. And I felt it's been useful. It's been helpful for me. And I have a book there that she can refer to if, for example, I should go away. Then hopefully she'll have something to support her and give her strength in times of her needs. So yeah, reflection was the key thing for me.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you so much, Jasmine. So your way of resolving the issues, reflection. Thank you. Now, Zion, just like when Eny mentioned his way of dealing with it, and Jasmine mentioned her way of dealing with despair and reconnecting and repairing. So, what is your strategy? No doubt you've been through a lot, Zion. When I see positive-minded people, I'm almost certain that that person has gone through a lot, and that is the reason why they are capable of keeping a positive mind and using it. So, when you hit rock bottom and you felt like that cup is empty, how did you refill it? How did you reconnect with your strengths?
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you, Mr. Eny, and thank you, Cyrus, for that good question. For me, if there's one thing I do every day, it's the ability to practice intentional gratitude. It's very powerful. It has transformed my life. I love it when you said it's rock bottom. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what you've attained in life. There are days when we hit rock bottom. There are days we don't feel like it. The energy is not there. The enthusiasm is not there. The passion is not there. If there's one thing that has really kept me up again and again, is the ability to intentionally practice gratitude every day of my life. One of your greatest achievements today is the fact that you are alive. Yes. So every other thing just flow from that place. And gratitude for me is a major pillar in me staying positive every day. For us, it's easy to complain about the things we don't have. It's easy to complain about the things we have not gotten, about the goals we couldn't achieve, about the vision we have not been able to attain. But then looking back at the blessings you have in your life, it's precious. It allows you to see the beauty of life. It allows you to enjoy the blessings that every day brings to you. I tell people sleeping and waking up that we all take for granted is a miracle. It's a huge miracle. The reason why I say that, because 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to sleep on the same bed with my friend. And that evening, we all ate dinner, we slept, and thinking to wake up the next morning. And I tell you, I woke up and my friend did not wake up. And from that moment henceforth, waking up, sleeping and waking up every day, for me, it's a huge miracle that I do not take for granted. That's why when I see people complain, people grumble, people, they are groaning about the things I've not been able to achieve, I smile, because for me, I don't see life like that. I see life from the beauty of being alive, having food on my table to eat, having a roof over my head, being able to see my loved ones. I tell you, it's the beauty of life. It's good to pursue the dreams, to pursue the goals, the vision, the financial status, the social status. It's because you are alive. That's the reason why you can be able to embrace that. And I wanted to get a copy of the book, because in there I was able to speak about gratitude. Just to tell you how gratitude has really changed my life. Even in the midst of COVID, when many persons were scared, were fearful, were anxious, If there's one thing I really go back to, is gratitude. Another day to experience COVID, oh, I'm grateful. I wasn't among the persons that died, even though it was a bad news to hear that people died. But we are alive. And here we are, few years down the line, we have become a testament that, whoa, we went through COVID-19, we survived it, and we are using our story to inspire others all over the world, to let them know that where you are right now, it's okay. It doesn't matter where you are. Your life is still beautiful. You are more than enough. You are great. You are amazing. And the ability for you to look inward, like Jackson said, with the power of reflection. Reflection will help you sit back and look at the blessings you have in your life. Each and every one of us, we have huge blessings in our life. Sometimes we do not realize it, we do not recognize it because there are so many things we are busy to get. There are so many things we want to still achieve. As much as it is beautiful, it is good, it is nice to keep pushing on for the things we want to get. Take time, pause, and look back at the blessings you have in your life. I tell you, you have
exactly
enough.
Exactly what Jasmine said. Exactly what Jasmine said there. Pause, reflect. I think your method is very similar to Jasmine's method, which is slightly different to Eny's method because he re-strategized, and perhaps a little bit of reflection was involved there as well. So I assume what connects all of us is that moment when you sit down and reflect to find out, okay, all right, the worst has happened. What should I do next? When COVID hit, I had a team before that, and it's like the team I had, it's like a bomb hit it, and everyone was scared. Everyone was running like headless chickens, and including myself, especially myself, not including myself, especially myself. By the way, Victoria is saying, "Go Zion, powerful gratitude mindset." Yes, Victoria, I totally agree with you. So I didn't know what I was doing. I called my dad and I said, "Dad, everyone left. What's going on?" Like, and he said, "Well, they are worried about their lives." And when you're in that level, when you're in that point in life, business comes second. Preserving your life, self-preservation, stays on top. And in terms of importance, so and I said, well, I'm wearing different hats, like everything they were doing, I have to do it now. And he was like, why are you wearing different hats? Do you not like your haircut anymore? And he was joking. He was joking with me. I was like, no. I don't need jokes now. I need someone to tell me what to do, because I was so confused, right? And he said, what did you do before you had that team? I was like, I don't know. I just had to think about it and created that team. And he said, well, do it again. Talk to the ones that just left and ask them if they want to come back. Half of them did, half of them didn't. Because I don't know, they weren't in the right mindset to continue their business. For me, I don't care if it's a flood, if the whole house is flood. I'm not worried because my camera is waterproof. Okay, I'm joking. So, well, I am waterproof. So if it matters to you, you will find a way to continue, right? So that is my way of dealing with despair, because I was like, on one hand, I have my why. So I always remember why. Every time every morning when I wake up, I remember why I am getting out of bed. Then the rest will click into place. Trust me. So that's what I did when I hit rock bottom. It was during COVID. I mean, it's happened a couple of times, but that was one of the worst. So and yeah, I did what Jasmine did. I did what Annie did, and I did what you did as well. So when you sit down with people and talk about and ask them for their experiences, you will find out we're all connected and we are much, much more similar than we think. We are different. What do you think, Annie?
Totally agree. You know, there's only a few ways that we can look at things, right? And funny when you say what Jasmine says, what Zion says is very similar.
Mm.
You'd be amazed. I've been amazed. Let me put it that way. When I speak to people who I see as successful, every one of them has been. I met someone on again. All my friends come from LinkedIn mostly. I met a man who it builds the warehouses for all the big brands, all the big companies that we know. Say like supermarkets and so on and so forth. He builds their warehouses. I'm like, wow. How do you do that? How does a man get those £1 million contracts? And I said, mate, with it, he goes, it's just mindset. If you believe and then you do, it happens. It's very nice. It's funny how that's always the answer. There's another marketer, there was the one that interviewed me last night. Now I spoke with him. So again, Steve Kidd, his name is. He does books, same as me. I spoke to him because one of the first people I've ever met who says that you can charge $100,000 per client. I'm like, wow, Steve, I want to know how you do that. Because everyone else I've met, they pretty much said, Eny, you can't make enough money from marketing, whatever you do, right? Whereas now Steve Kidd was like, no, of course you can. I do many times. I've done it many times. So no, just trying to, again, it's having the mindset that you can do it. That's what he explained, and also having the mindset to build a team that can do it and that does do it. Essentially, he gets the clients in because he can promise them he can deliver what they want, and then he expands his team of freelancers around the world. They serve the customer. As long as the customer's there, the freelancers are working. When they're not there, it gets rid of the freelancers leave. They go away, right? So it can be. So everyone I've spoken to, if you listen to Ashton Paul's podcast long enough, he will. I know he said it's a mindset thing. Your skill is important, but your mindset is much more important. Funny how very simple principles in life, really.
Yeah, I learned that later through my career. So this is one of the good things about this chat, Eny. I wish you had this chat with me before. That would have saved me a lot of heartbreak and problems, right? So honestly, because if I knew the problem was me and I was lacking in not just one department, in a few departments, and I would have found the solution much faster, right? If you don't know the problem, if you don't know you have a problem, you won't acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge it, you won't find a solution for it. And if you don't find a solution for it, you will get stuck with that problem for ages until you find a way to acknowledge it and then solve it. So this is what after that extremely hilarious joke my dad made, I had to sit down with him because he was a showroom kind of he has a showroom kind of mentality because he sold cars like half of his life, right? So and he said to me, do you have soldiers on your team? Are you guys soldiers or mercenaries? I was like, what's the difference? And he was like, mercenaries you just pay them. They're hired soldiers. They don't have the same goals as you. They're not fighting for the same country. They can be from any country. They're not fighting for yours, right? So that's the difference between the two. So you need soldiers like yourself to fight your fight and find the same people. I was like, oh, so I went through all that despair and I didn't move from despair to repair because I didn't acknowledge despair. So it took me a while. Then I realized, okay, I need to create a team with like-minded people, with people whose goals are the same. We share the same goals and values. So not maybe values shouldn't be in the forefront. Goals should be, because you could have any sort of values, but if your goals are same as mine, we will achieve the goal, because at the end of the day, we are fighting to achieve the goals, not achieve the values, right? So the goal is to get 100 clients per year between the whole team members, right? So values are, some people are like, oh, okay, my values are, I'm a religious person. So the other person says, oh, in terms of values, we are on this planet to be spiritual beings. You know, different people have different values, right? I think honesty is the best thing. Oh, I think customer service is the best thing. You know, everyone has some sort of values, right? But once the goal is not forgotten, once you remember the goal and the why, you can move from despair to repair very, very easily. And expecting expecting yourself to go through difficulty is very silly. I mean, I learned it the hard way. I always thought, oh, I should be so prepared so problems won't happen to me. Well, yeah, I remember now. Yes, Jasmine. Yes, Annie. Yeah, you can laugh. It's fine. Well, that's how silly I was. That's how.
Cyrus, I do this every day, right?
Go on,
So
sorry.
I do this every day. I got this weird, crazy idea that I will do tomorrow's work today. You know, everyone knows I stay up late and I stay up. You know, I work around the clock. It's it's the same idea you're thinking, which is that I say I can do tomorrow's work today, so I can avoid tomorrow's problems. It never works. Tomorrow's brings other problems. That's what you know. Again, my mindset coach helped me learn. You know what, Eny? The more you
that's
do,
powerful.
the longer you stay up and do more, the more life's going to throw at you to keep doing. So now, so much like you know, the more problems you're trying to avoid, the more life's going to throw more problems at you to deal with. It's just, you know, it's a reality that we don't always know. You know, we're young, we're optimistic, aren't we? I say we're young. You know, you're young. You know, I'm old, but no, we hope to.
You're not old. You're experienced.
You're very kind.
Seasoned.
We all get old. It's all right. In the end, we all get old, right? Yeah, we will. You know, we'll get to the same age eventually, so it's all right. You know.
You know, from COVID, right? This is. I'm not sure what your like general take on COVID is, but for me, what I learned, and I can see it through your co-authors chapters as well. We survived it. We were lucky enough. We survived it. And if you can survive a pandemic of some sort, you can do anything.
Yeah.
You can. You stayed alive to continue to achieve your objectives, right? That's the way I see it, and that's the second life that was given to you. Not many people can say that. Some people, right? Some people's lives were lost. That's how life
millions.
works.
We're talking millions. Millions were lost now around the world. I say millions. You know, this country alone, what, 500,000 more? You know, so you know, I guess, you know, the beauty of the book is that we didn't just survive. You know, if you look at all of us now, you know, we're thriving, right? It is, you know, it's more than repair. It's, you know, we found something on the back of COVID that's moved us forward.
Yes.
You know, almost everyone I know, all my co-authors, were further forward now than we were during COVID. I said that's remarkable. Yeah, that's the point of the book, really. Yeah, definitely. The book is really a lesson in how do we survive and thrive in a pandemic.
Yeah,
you know, because there's, like I said, now the thing I say for sure. You know, we're guaranteed taxes, we're guaranteed death. We're also guaranteed another pandemic. Humanity has to learn how to cope with these things when they do happen. You know, and so our book is just, you know, it's a 24th century, 21st century version of
Yeah.
pandemic survival guide. If you want to look at it like that, you know, that's why I'm so excited by, you know, the range of co-authors I have, the range of content that they brought forward, the range of ideas they brought forward. You know, so Zion, you know, he hasn't had time to mention it today. You know, he's becoming an amazing farmer.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and to feed himself and to feed his family and to feed his neighbors.
Fantastic.
You know, remember, everything was closed down. You couldn't go shopping. You couldn't go shop to buy stuff. You know, so you know we had to learn to be resilient, to find other ways, that we can look after ourselves, survive, and just do better, right? And we did. You know, but so it took something out of all of us. You know, we all learned something along the process. And I think we must teach people what those things are. You know, so that's why I love the book so much. You know, if you read the book, you know, you really will be better prepared. You know, and maybe yes, Cyrus, keep holding the book up. I agree. Yes, I love that.
I love that work, mate. You've done a great job. You've done a great job, and in a few moments we're going to be talking about higher, please, higher.
There's a lesson here somewhere, right? The lesson is that there's my original version, and there's yours, the final version. You know, you ask us as a publisher, you ask yourself a question: are they all worth the same? This one's worth more because it's the original version. But it has got things that were improved in your version that you've got.
This is version 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying, you know, so there's a joy, and I love all of them the same way. I really do, because I think, you know, the lessons.
It's a great work. How many co-authors have been involved in it? 9.
10 co-authors,
including you.
So 10 altogether. You know, the perfect 10. We started off with 7, I think, 7 to get to 8. You know, so, and then when we published the first version, then as a publisher, I can make changes. So I brought more authors in to have more diverse viewpoints. You know, there was a day I realized, Cyrus, you know what? Don't ask me what happened, right? There's a day something dawned on Eny. Damn, Eny, you're the only man in this group amongst all these women. I'm like, no, that must change. That's when I begged Zion to write a chapter. Because I can't do that. I was being chewed to death by, you know, literally, you know, when there was, like, look, I always say, anthologies always have issues, right? And when the issues came, I was always beaten by all of them because they all thought the same. They were all women thinking, they're like, Eny, you're just so aggressive. I'm like, no, I know I'm right. I know the man is great. They will tell you I'm right. So that's when Zion came in. That's when Margaret came in to give us a different perspective.
Yeah.
As well.
You know, Eny, when something when you have a project as difficult as an anthology, which you successfully have delivered, and I commend you for that. You have to remember, if it was easy, everybody would do it. But it's not difficult enough for you to give up, because at the same time, when you are feeling that this task is impossible, there are at least a couple of million people who've already done it, or are in the process of doing it, or they are in the process of doing it. So if you remember these two things, you're going to continue, you're going to start, you're going to continue, and you're going to finish it. Right? So that is something worth remembering and worth thinking about. Now, Jasmine, in terms of this fantastic book, Where did you buy yours?
Yay.
I got mine from. I got my book, my lovely book, from Amazon.
Yeah, you do it like any. You do it like any, don't you?
Yes, I'm stroking it.
There's nothing wrong with stroking a book. There's nothing wrong with stroking your book.
Beautiful.
No,
I
and
love,
it's not a cat.
I love blue. Blue is actually one of my favorite colors.
Thank
Yeah, it
you.
just stood out to me. It's very nice.
It is lovely. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, any sent me this one for free. No, he didn't. I actually bought it from Amazon.
Yeah. I give away some for free, but not too often.
No, honestly, joking aside, guys, if you haven't purchased your a copy of the book, which is available on Amazon, please go ahead and place your purchase. Lessons we learned from COVID-19 is available on Amazon. If Amazon is operational in your country, please go ahead and place your order. If you can't find it if you don't have Amazon in your country, please find me or Jasmine or Eny Osung on LinkedIn and ask us, and we will help you somehow receive your copy. If you can't find it through Amazon, please do not worry, because there is where there is a will, there is a way. You can get the ebook. Ebook is available as well. I have both. I have the ebook and I have the paperback version as well. And hopefully, at some point, we're gonna create a room, create a live version of this recording that we are doing here. We're gonna have a special edition for people who have purchased the book. People who have purchased and read the book, because we're gonna bring in the authors and we're gonna sit down and talk to the authors directly, right? So when you placed your purchase, send us a link, send us a receipt of the purchase, and then we will add your name to the list. Provide your email with the list, along with the list, and send your email to Eny's mailbox. Eny, could you please put your email in the comment section so we can add it onto the screen? So please, guys, remember, again, just as a reminder, please, once you made your purchase, once you purchased this fantastic book, Lessons We Learned from COVID-19, once you made your purchase, send us the receipt or the screenshot of the receipt, and send it to eny@global.media.com, which you can see on the screen right now. And your name will be added to a special list, and that list is going to be discussed soon with Eny and Jasmine, and we're going to create a room for people who have purchased the book. There's a lot of exciting news coming up regarding this book. It's more than just a book. It is a collective experience of 10 people, and it's not just 10 people. Maybe your experience is similar to their experiences. Okay, so when you read through the chapters of this book, what you find is familiarity and similarities. I am enjoying it. Everyone who's talked in this book, they've been really candid, and they've been really straightforward with their experiences. What do you think, Eny?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You know, I think everyone there's something for everyone in the book. That's what I always say, right? You know, so when you got 10 people speaking and sharing their stories, you know, in that candid way you mentioned, Cyrus, you know, there's something for us. There's always something for us to learn, right? Yeah. You know, if there's some things that are similar to our experiences, then we know we're not alone. You know, it validates our experience to a degree. You know, whereas there are many new things, I think, because you can't think and do exactly the same as any of us 10 people, let alone all of us 10 people. You know, there's gems in there, like I say. You know, science story alone you know, is something worth reading. And maybe it's not just reading. You know, this is about reading and implementing. You know, it's about reading and making real change in our lives. You know, where is necessary. You know, let's not just keep looking at things like gift horses in the mouth. You know, and just carrying on the same. You know, if we want real change in our lives, we have to learn to implement the things that we hear, that we see. You know, otherwise nothing changes, right?
Absolutely. When we were in the middle of the pandemic, the first 6 months, it was a little bit difficult. So I dealt with it, and then I made a decision. So I thought, okay, all right, fine, okay, it happened. It hasn't been easy. Okay, well, it happened. It happened to everybody. It didn't just happen to me. Okay, even if it had just happened to me, it wouldn't make a difference. It's not what happens; it's what you do with it, right? It's how you react. How you react. It's not the size. Yeah, exactly. It's not the size of the dog in a fight. It's the size of the fight in a dog. Okay, so you gotta fight back. You gotta get back and get back on the road, right? We get sidetracked. We are all tunnel visioned on our targets, on our goals. At least I am. Every once in a while we get sidetracked. And then when I made that decision, I was thinking, okay, after the COVID, what am I going to tell my children? Am I going to tell them? What am I supposed to tell them? What am I going to tell my friends and family? How am I going to inspire people? Am I going to tell them if they ask me what were you doing during COVID? Am I just going to tell them, I was washing my hands? No, I wasn't going to say that. No, during COVID, I was strategizing. I was re-strategizing, right? I was spending that time that I could be wasting by experiencing that despair that we talked about, right? I could be wasting my time doing that. I had a decision to make, right? I could be either wasting my time experiencing that despair, or I could regroup, re-energize myself, and re-strategize, and strategize, and strategize, and again strategize, and get something done. And I'm really glad I created the Whisper Boy experience. And now by the year 2030, we will have one community, one representative and one community in every single country. And recently we've added another member to our group, which is from Nigeria. We're talking about Victor. So it has been a difficult experience, this COVID thing. And you said something that I've been thinking about for a week now. You said something last week which was really, really significant, Eny. You mentioned perhaps, I said perhaps there's going to be another pandemic at some point. And you said, no. It's not perhaps. It's definitely. So what did you mean? What did you mean by that?
It's a definite. If it's happened before, humanity can work at that. The likelihood is almost always certainty. Before COVID, if you'd ask any of us, we would have said, maybe a 1% chance something like this could happen, right? You know, like Jasmine, can you think of any way where we'll be locked down in our houses, unable to go out? Cyrus, can you think of any way where they'll close all the schools, all the businesses, all the universities?
Well, when I was in school, that was one of my wishes, but it never happened.
The pandemic happened every day. Just it's a scale that made this one different.
Yeah, half of the reason I was upset was because when I was thinking, why didn't this happen when I was in school?
In our days, we had thunderstorms and hurricanes. which were new to us. You know, I remember many a morning I woke up, and you're like, damn, that's weather, really? You know, and there's no school. You're like, yeah, excellent. You know, but I'm saying around the world, you know, diseases, breakouts happen every day. You know, and people do die. You know, there's other things we can look at. You know, so the Black Plague that happened here, you know, many years ago, turn of the century. Ebola happens in Africa virtually every year. Now there's monkeypox. You know, just one day, so that something like this is going to become a global problem. You know, not least because of the way the world works. You know, how did COVID spread? Some would say because we have an integrated transport system. That means we can all go to anywhere in the world. You and I can today, right? That means everyone can move around, and people do move around. And when people can move around, it means what happens in one place doesn't stay there anymore. It will move somewhere else. So, monkeypox is now in the UK. You know, last year they're telling us that that's only, you know, some parts of Africa had a mild problem with monkeypox. I'm saying that's getting bigger now, but then there'll be other things that will happen. You know, if you talk to some of are they scaremongers? Are they conspiracy theorists? No, they'll tell you that's the way we interact with animals. It's going to be the root to our downfall. You know, the way we interact with bats, animals, diseases, the way we interact with some of the research we do. I'm saying, look, let's be sure. You know, this pandemics, it can't just happen once. If it does, I'll be amazed. Nothing happens only once, right? If it will happen again.
Yeah. So one of the lessons we learned from COVID-19. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, by the way. One of the lessons we learned from COVID-19 is the repeatability of events like this. So they are repeatable. Okay, so they can happen. So if it happened once, it can happen again, right? If your government, the government of your country, was successful managing it, hopefully it will be successful managing the next one as well. However, you need to learn from the last experience that for a big chunk of that experience, it will be a situation like each to their own, right? So you will be on your own. So please make sure your business has a high survival chance, high survival rate. So make sure the infrastructure you create for your business is fortified and strong enough to survive another pandemic or perhaps a war that could happen, because there has been wars in the past followed by a pandemic, and there has been pandemic in the past followed by a war, right? If it's happened before, it can happen again, because amongst us there are geniuses who cause wars, which they shouldn't, but they still do. And there are also other types of genius who play God with viruses, and they don't think about the consequences. How many women, children, or men could die from it, or what it could do to businesses. By the way, Eny, that Linda just mentioned, I'm enjoying your podcast. Great info. Thank you so much, Linda. So what you can expect from this podcast is the fact that we are candid about everything. There's no censorship. People speak their mind, speak their heart, and speak their mind. Now, Jasmine, we mentioned people need to have an exit strategy. If things go wrong, if things become difficult, if a war happens or if a pandemic happens, you should be ready enough to handle the situation until a little bit of stability and the situation gets normalized again, right? A little bit of stability is introduced to the equation again. Maybe it takes 2 months, maybe it takes 6 months. Okay, we don't know. We never know. So Eny's strategy was he basically it took him like a year and a bit before that normalization happened, before he got the hang of things, and before he put a handle on the problem, and he managed to stabilize the situation, right? So if a pandemic happens, what kind of businesses do you think have a higher probability? I would say podcasts. I would say online advertising. What is your view? What, in your opinion, what kind of businesses would have a higher probability of survival?
Okay, in my view, businesses who are tapping into the digital marketing world, because when we look back at COVID, where people couldn't go anywhere, online was your portal basically to push your brand and to promote yourself. So if you haven't built an online presence, my encouragement to you is, in preparation for the pandemic, you should start doing that now, building that visibility and building a community around you, because at the end of the day, without a community, who is going to buy from you? Who is going to listen to you or learn to trust what you're saying? So I say, stay online, build a community around you, and then from there, obviously, deliver value as you're going along, deliver value and let it be authentic in the way that you communicate with your audience. They should know that you want to make them the superhero or the heroine of their story. You're looking to add value and adding solutions to them, to make their lives better, basically. So staying online and networking, I would say, is key, because without networking, I wouldn't be here with you two. So join LinkedIn audio rooms and connect with people on a genuine note, and that would help you in terms of surviving a pandemic, for example. Because the community spirit, I'm coming back to community, because community spirit can help you to move forward in terms of any challenges that you face, because there's power in unity. That's what I would say, Cyrus.
Oh, thank you so much. So that was Jasmine's valuable advice, and that was we heard Eny's valuable advice as well. My advice to you guys is do what Eny said, do what Jasmine suggested as well. And the advice I have for you guys is, please create a team. Whatever you do, don't do it on your own. Do you really think Eny's successful just because Eny's on this camera right now? Do you think it's just him? No. He's got a team. He's good at managing teams. He is involved in different types of podcasts, or as some people call it, live audio rooms, live podcasts. Okay, so Jasmine is not successful on her own. She is successful along with other individuals. So the power of collaboration. So forget about what happened before COVID. So that's one of the lessons we learned from COVID-19, guys. The world before COVID was the world of competition. The world after COVID is pivoting towards collaboration, completion. So we've moved from despair to repair, and the tool we are using is moving from competition to completion, right? So we complete each other now. I don't know what Eny knows. I hire his powers. I don't know what Jasmine knows. I hire her powers. And she's and Jasmine here, let's say she's spending 30% of 33% of her powers. Same thing applicable to Eny, and same thing applicable to me. So all of us, 99%. It's better than zero, right? Every person puts in 33%, right? and you can spend the rest of your powers on other areas of your business. So that's one thing we learned from COVID-19, guys. Collaborate if you want to survive, right? So when I was a kid, I remember my granddad, my mom and dad always asked me, told me really, to brush my teeth. I never listened to them. People don't listen to their parents, right? Kids don't listen to their parents. They never listen to their parents. At least when I was a kid, I wouldn't listen. So my granddad told me the same thing. The only difference was he told me, so my mom said, brush your teeth. My dad said, brush your teeth, and I still wouldn't. And my granddad told me, come here, let me tell you something. Go and brush your teeth. Don't brush them all. Only brush the ones you want to keep. Right? Now, my advice to you guys is, you don't all need to create teams. I'm only asking you to create a team, only if you want to survive. Right? Only if you want to survive, create a team. That's what I've learned from COVID-19, right? That's a lesson I learned from COVID-19. You want to learn more lessons from COVID-19? The book's here, the book's on Amazon. Please go ahead and make your purchase. Eny Osung and co-authors have actually created this book for us. Lessons we learned from COVID-19, right? And you can see Eny's picture there. He's actually smiling there. Is that you, Eny, smiling there? What's wrong? I'm only joking. Eny, you're on mute. We can't hear you, Eny.
I always smile. I'm Mr. Positive, right? You know, I'm Mr. Positive, but I'm the one who lives it. Like I said, there's no
Absolutely.
point knowing and hearing what works and not actually implementing it. You know, so
Absolutely.
I smile every so often. Yeah, I like to sound grumpy though. Yeah, I like to sound like my normal self, which is like, just leave me alone. I'm all right, thanks. When I live in this little bubble. It's a great place, you know. Inside, I'm always smiling. If that helps.
So should we call you Mr. Positivity, or just Eny Osung is will do?
Eny Osung will do. Thank you. That's positivity is already taken by Zion, and there's even a Miss Positivity. You know, what's her name? Rosemary.
Rosemary, yeah.
Right. Now she's the queen of positivity. So
Yeah.
you know, they can have that. You know, the audio room. You know, the Godfather of audio rooms. I'll take. I've earned that one.
Yeah.
I keep that one quite happily. Thanks.
Yeah. Me and my dad. My mom always called us Mr. Lazy number 1, Mr. Lazy number 2, and every weekend we wouldn't move a muscle. I'm telling you, right? And she was like, Mr. Lazy number 1, Mr. Lazy number 2, and we were like, yeah, you can call us anything, just don't call us late for dinner. So, no, joking aside, the amount of positivity I get from Jasmine and yourself is off the charts, my friend. It's really, really appreciated. That's why I always associate myself with hardworking and positive-minded people. So, as I said before, I have created this song for COVID-19. We're going to listen to it for one last time today. And for those of us who just joined the show right now, please remember, lessons we learned from COVID-19 is available on Amazon, both the Kindle version and the paperback. Let's listen to lessons we learned from COVID-19.
Our hopes hopes married our fears, and our minds divorced our sanity. Later on we found out the dodgy vaccine was just another thing of vanity. Lost our faith in humanity. We struggled to get used to our tragic and new reality. The vaccine made some richer, made some sicker, but it didn't save humanity. Isolation and frustration felt by every nation. No one seemed to enjoy the circus of inoculation. Made in a lab in the 60s, but they called it a Chinese innovation. Winter of frustration felt by every sick nation. No chance of survival for some, no hope for salvation. The lessons we learned from COVID-19. Promises were broken, the virus was mean. We kept our masks on, we kept our hands clean. These are the lessons we learned from COVID-19. Locked in our homes, we saw the world change fast. What we thought would save us, it didn't last. Masks and distance, fear in every glance. We were dancing blindfolded, we never stood a chance to win with elegance. Fear spread like wildfire across every station. Hope felt like a distant, fading sensation. No answers were clear, just more complication. Winter dragged on and on, testing every generation. We found out in the end it's not about the cure, but how we rise again and what we can endure. In the loss we found each other, a truth so divine. These are the lessons of our time. We put our faith in our governments, put our faith in the big pharma. We lost our parents, our kids, our jobs, and called it fate and karma. The lessons we learned from COVID-19. Promises were broken, the virus was mean. We kept our masks on, we kept our hands clean. These are the lessons we learned from COVID-19. Lessons we learned from COVID-19. Promises were broken, the virus was mean. We kept our masks on, we kept our hands clean. These are the lessons we learned from COVID-19.
Lessons we learned from COVID-19. So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on another episode of Spotlight. Leslie Flowers has joined us. Thank you so much, Leslie. Greetings, everyone. This amazing lady says. Leslie, you missed the bit where we advertised your book as well. Now that you've joined us.
Imagine, what if there was a world beyond what we can see? What if our dreams were not just dreams? What if there is a place where we can live and love in peace and harmony? What if a science fiction romance wasn't fiction? Get ready to lose yourself with Lee and Van in a romantic adventure that up to now was just a fantasy. You will discover love has no boundaries. Explore the complexities of connections that span across galaxies and the heartwarming reminder of the power of love. Leslie Flowers has been blazing trails for the business leaders for decades, leveraging the laws of achievement and timeless success. Principles. Already an acclaimed writer, her new book invites you to explore what could be. With a passion for exploring the human condition and the mysteries of the universe, Leslie invites you to come along on this interstellar journey that will stay with you long after you finish the last page.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on another episode of Spotlight. We just listened to a short ad. We just watched a short ad advertising one of our sponsors, Leslie Flowers, and her fantastic book, The Possibility of Irada. So please do contact Eny Osung if you have a book that you haven't finished yet. If you've run out of steam, it will help you get your mojo back. And if you're struggling with your advertising online, definitely Jasmine Ofori is the person for you. Contact her. She's the head of Jew Digital, as you can see on the screen. We have the head of global.media here, Eny Osung, with us as well. So he's a publisher, and we got a social media specialist in the room. We also have a brilliant author as well, Leslie Flowers. She can also help you with finishing your book if you're halfway through it. Consult with her and find out how she can help you, because she's a mindset coach, a mindset expert, should I say. She's a direct student to Bob Proctor, who featured in the movie Secret. Okay, so I am lucky like that. I am lucky like that. I know people. I know fantastic people. Okay, that's my area of expertise. that's my fame. That's my claim to fame. I know fantastic people. So now we're gonna have to, as much as we are enjoying this show, we're gonna have to bring it to an end. Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us today. A few final words, perhaps, before we finalize the show tonight.
Thank you, Cyrus, for having me here, and thank you, Eny, for sharing your wisdom in this space. Yes, I was going to say something about COVID-19 in terms of the lessons I've learned. I've taken the opportunity to say to myself, the man who wins. And the man who says he can is the man who wins, basically. And it's taken from Napoleon Hill's book. I don't know if you've read that book. It's a poem. I'd love to read it, but I think I might take too much of your time. So, yeah.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead. It's fine. Please go ahead.
You want me to read it? Okay. Just words of encouragement to everybody.
Yeah, sure.
So here we go.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, all right, okay. It says, if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you lose, you've lost. For out of the world we find, success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. So that's been my motto for 2022 through to 2024. And yeah, it's, lessons we've learned from COVID. We survived, so we can do anything if we put our minds to it. Mindset is so important. Thank you, Cyrus and Eny.
Thank you so much.
And Zion.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Well, that's proof why we are working with you, Jasmine, and why you are on our team. I'm not gonna find better words than you found just now and shared with us. Thank you so much for that fantastic share. You are full of surprises, Jasmine. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any final words to bring this episode to an end, please?
I'm always grateful for the chance to talk. So I will obviously endorse your recommendation and compliments to Dr. Leslie Flowers for being an amazing author and someone who moves people towards their goals. She's a legend. She's written many other books as well. So
she's got weekly sessions on LinkedIn. Join her, please.
Yeah, I've joined one of her sessions. It's amazing. Yeah, it's really amazing. It offers you clarity and things of that nature. So join.
Yeah, I mean, but the
Definitely.
topic she talks about mindset is probably the most important lesson we have to learn. But I do always say, don't just learn about mindset, because you got the right mindset with no skill, only go so far. You can combine unique abilities with the right way of thinking. You're essentially unstoppable, right? And so all I'll say now, look, the last one I'll say, of course, based on coming back to our book, life is about building that resilience into everything you do. Build that resilience in. And you mentioned it earlier, Jasmine. Build the resilience. Don't leave your life at risk of being blown off course. Don't leave your business being at risk of being blown off course. Don't leave your relationships at risk of being blown. Don't leave anything at risk of being blown off course. We have to learn to build proper resilience around the things that matter to us. Resilience comes down to being able to see the purpose and being able to carry on through adversity, by focusing on. I would say to ourselves, focus on the prize. The prize is not the money. The prize is not the success. The prize is the life we get to give our family, the life we get to live. It's the people we get to benefit. Keep those at the front of your mind and build whatever it takes to keep you striving towards those people. That's what our book's about. About building resilience, and it's not just for the pandemic. It's for all aspects of our lives. Because I think you will find in the book, people find themselves in many different ways. Sometimes finding their family, finding their friends, finding that relationships really matter. Some found God. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying there's many different ways, right? But you have to find that resilience, build that toughness into everything you do. Don't just leave anything for the wind to blow over, and then suddenly you're back to square one. We'll find that resilience. Then, even if the worst does happen, we can find our way back. That's the way life really works. That's what we learned through COVID, really.
Absolutely. You need to ask yourself, what are you going to do when the worst happens? Okay. Not everyone can do it, though. Not everyone can do it. But people who survived during COVID days, right? They've done it. And if you can do it during COVID, you can do it during any time, right? Yes, depression exists. Yes, of course. Hard times exist. Yes. We cry every once in a while. Yes, we get upset. Yes, we lose people. We lose our health. It's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the line, right? So if Eny Osung can survive, Eny Osung can thrive. If Jasmine can survive, Jasmine can thrive. Yes, granted, you need one, you need both. You need first you need to survive before you can thrive. Okay, you need to be alive to thrive. COVID put that at harm's way, put the health part of it at harm's way, threatened our health. But we survived it. And guess what? Just like Eny said, this could happen again. This kind of pandemic situation could happen again. Have you built resilience? Have you learned how to stay resilient? How to stay strong? And turn the ship around? Yeah? Have you managed to learn how to get back up? That's a skill, by the way. That's a skill. That's a mental capability. Not everyone can do it. That's why some businesses went out of business, right? Some businesses went into liquidation, and they don't exist anymore. They're no more, and they never created a new one. So it's up to you. what's going to happen? How are you going to react? This is what we learned from COVID-19, guys. How you will react, how you're going to react is under your control. What happens to you isn't. What happens to you isn't under your control. And most of the things you feel or you think you have control over, it's just an illusion. Control is just an illusion. You can't control what happens to you. But what you can control is how you react when the worst happens, right? So, I hope, well, we all have wounds. We all have wounds from COVID-19 in ways that we don't want to talk about or we don't want to share. But whether it's COVID-19 or it's anything else, I hope the wounds that you never talk to anybody about heals up very soon. And I hope you are able to build that resilience that you want. So, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Spotlight. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Please join us next week when we bring another co-author of lessons we learned from COVID-19. Thank you so much, and take good care of yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Cheers.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. All right.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you, Zion. Thank you, Eny, and thank you, Jasmine. Cheers. Have a nice day.
Bye.